Never buy a diesel truck in 2025. Here's what they're not telling you. Let me ask you something. You walked into that dealership. You sat down across from that salesman. He leaned back, smiled, and told you that diesel was the smart choice. More torque, better towing, longer engine life, more resale value. He probably even said something like, "Diesel owners don't look back." And you believed him. Because why wouldn't you? It sounded like insider knowledge. It sounded like he was doing you a favor. But here's what he didn't say. He didn't mention the DEF system that can strand you in the middle of nowhere at -10 degrees. He didn't bring up the $4,000 DPF replacement you'll be staring at somewhere around 120,000 miles. He didn't whisper a single word about the emissions regulations that are systematically making older diesel trucks unsellable in whole states, states that more and more buyers are moving into every year. And he absolutely, positively did not tell you that the dealers, the manufacturers, and the government have quietly built a system around diesel ownership that is designed, not by accident, but by design, to keep you dependent, keep you paying, and keep you coming back. You didn't buy a truck, you bought into a machine, a financial machine, and it runs on your ignorance. So before you sign anything, before you hand over that down payment, before you commit to 6 or 7 years of payments on something you think is a workhorse, you need to hear what they've been hiding. Because the diesel truck dream, it's become a diesel truck trap. And in 2025, that trap has never been more expensive to fall into. Let's start with something called the DEF system. Because if you already own a diesel truck, you know what this is. And if you're about to buy one, sit down. This is the part nobody tells you at the dealership. DEF stands for diesel exhaust fluid. It's a liquid, a mixture of urea and deionized water that gets injected into your exhaust stream to reduce nitrogen oxide emissions. It was mandated on diesel trucks starting in 2010 under EPA emissions requirements. Every diesel pickup from Ford, Ram, GM, they all have it. There's no way around it. Now on paper it sounds simple. You fill up a small tank, maybe every few thousand miles, and the system does its job. No big deal. In reality, it's one of the single most problematic components ever put into a pickup truck. Here's what happens. The DEF system is not just a tank and a pump. It's a complex electronic system with sensors, heaters, injectors, and a selective catalytic reduction system, the SCR. Every single one of those components is a failure point, and they fail constantly. When that system fails, and it will fail, your truck doesn't just throw a warning light, it goes into what's called limp mode. Your engine power gets cut dramatically, you cannot drive normally, and if you ignore that warning, in many trucks, after a set number of miles, the truck will not start, period. Think about what that means. You're towing a trailer. You're in the middle of the mountains. You're on a job site 40 miles from the nearest dealer. And your truck, your $75,000 fully paid for, supposedly tough-as-nails diesel pickup, refuses to move because a $300 sensor in an emission system decided to fail. This is not a hypothetical. This is happening to diesel truck owners every single week across this country. You can go right now to any diesel truck forum, the Ram Cummins community, the Power Stroke forums, the Duramax groups, and you will find page after page after page of owners dealing with DEF system failures, stranded on highways, stranded on job sites, stranded at truck stops in the middle of the night. And the repair costs? A DEF pump replacement runs anywhere from $800 to $2,500 depending on your truck and where you take it. An SCR catalyst failure? That can run $3,000 to $6,000. A DEF injector? Another $400 to $1,200. And if the system corrupts your NOx sensors too, you're looking at a 4-figure bill just in sensors alone. But here's the part that really starts to sting. A lot of independent mechanics, the guys who've been working on trucks for 30 years, the shops that don't charge dealer rates, can't fully diagnose and reset DEF system faults without proprietary dealer software, which means you don't just pay for the part, you pay for the privilege of being forced into the dealer's service bay. The trap is already sprung, and you haven't even noticed yet. But DEF is just the beginning, because nested inside your diesel truck's exhaust system is another component that manufacturers absolutely love to gloss over when they're selling you on the torque numbers. The diesel particulate filter, the DPF. This is a filter built into your exhaust that captures soot, particulate matter, before it exits out the tailpipe. It works in cycles. The truck burns off the soot during what's called a regeneration cycle, where exhaust temperatures spike high enough to incinerate the collected particles. In theory, this is elegant engineering. In reality, it is a ticking financial clock mounted to your exhaust system. Here's the problem. DPF filters have a lifespan. They clog, they crack, they get contaminated by oil leaks, and if your truck spends a lot of time idling, say on a job site or in traffic, or letting it warm up in cold climates, the regen cycles don't complete properly. The soot builds up faster than the system can burn it off, and the filter starts to die. When the DPF gets too restricted, your truck's performance tanks. Fuel economy drops, you get warning lights, and eventually the truck goes into the same limp mode you're now familiar with from the DEF system failures. To replace a DPF filter on a modern diesel pickup, you're looking at $3,000 to $5,000 at a dealership. Some owners have reported quotes above $7,000 when other connected components need to come out to access the filter. And guess what? That replacement has its own lifespan. You're not solving the problem permanently, you're just buying time until the next cycle. Some owners try cleaning the DPF instead. Specialized shops can remove and clean the filter using high-pressure forced regeneration equipment. That runs $300 to $600, but it only works if the filter hasn't already cracked or been contaminated. And if it has, and contamination from engine oil or coolant leaks is extremely common in high-mileage diesels, cleaning does nothing. You need a replacement. And none of this, not a single word of this, was in the glossy brochure they handed you at the dealership. The salesman showed you towing ratings, he showed you fuel economy highway numbers, he talked about the legendary Cummins, the bulletproof Power Stroke, the Duramax reputation that built a generation of loyal owners. He talked about everything except the exhaust system that will eat your wallet alive somewhere between 100,000 and 150,000 miles. There's a reason for that, and we'll get to the who and the why in a moment. But first, you need to understand how deep this problem actually goes, because the DEF system and the DPF are just the surface layer. Underneath, it gets a lot darker. Let's talk about what's happening with diesel emissions regulations, because this is the part that should genuinely terrify anyone thinking about buying a diesel truck in 2025. For decades, diesel trucks existed in a kind of gray zone. The federal government set emission standards, manufacturers engineered around them with varying degrees of honesty, we'll get to that, and owners largely drove wherever they wanted without thinking about any of it. That era is ending, fast. California was the first to light the fuse. Their CARB Resources Board have been systematically tightening emissions rules for commercial and personal diesel vehicles for years. But what changed recently isn't just the rules, it's the enforcement and the spread. As of 2025, California operates a system called CARB compliance tiers. Older diesel trucks that don't meet current emission standards are either restricted from operation in certain zones, face escalating registration penalties, or simply cannot be registered at all. This isn't a future proposal, it's happening right now. And here's where it becomes your problem even if you live in Texas or Ohio or anywhere that isn't California. 16 states have adopted California's emissions framework. 16, and that number has been growing. New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Oregon, Washington, Colorado, Nevada, these states are either already operating under California-aligned diesel rules or in the process of adopting them. Now think about what that does to resale value. You own a 2018 diesel truck. Maybe it's got 110,000 miles on it. It's been maintained, runs great. You paid $52,000 for it new, you still owe $18,000, and you figure the resale will absorb most of that. You're planning to sell it in a few years when you upgrade. Except the buyer in New England you find on the internet can't register it in his state. The Colorado buyer asks you if it's CARB compliant and goes quiet when you say you're not sure. The California buyer doesn't even respond to your listing. Your truck pool just shrunk dramatically, and in markets where supply is high and eligible buyers are scarce, prices collapse. Owners who bought diesel thinking they were making a smart, high-retention investment are discovering that the resale market is quietly being carved up by regulation. The truck didn't lose value because it broke down. It lost value because of a spreadsheet in a government office that the dealership never once mentioned. But we still haven't gotten to the part that makes all of this feel intentional.
Because everything we've talked about so far, the DEF failures, the DPF costs, the emissions restrictions, the proprietary repair locks, the warranty fine print, the resale erosion, could be theoretically chalked up to unintended consequences, to technology evolving faster than anyone expected. Except it wasn't unintended, not even close. Let's talk about Volkswagen. Because even though this story is about diesel trucks, you cannot understand what's happening in 2025 without going back to 2015 and understanding what Volkswagen did and what the entire auto industry learned from watching what happened next. In September of 2015, the EPA revealed that Volkswagen had installed defeat device software in approximately 11 million diesel vehicles worldwide. This software detected when a vehicle was being emissions tested based on steering input, speed, and other signals, and temporarily activated full emissions controls only during the test. In real-world driving, the controls were largely disabled,